disclaimer! I'm the other one, you bastard!
Nope, I am not falling for that shit again. Last time I stayed up for all of that, it was Sword and Shield, and that turned out to be a great disappointment. And the time before that, it was, well, Pokken Tournament and Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. No, I absolutely refuse to get into this riffraff for one more time. They probably won't even announce Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. My one thing that I'm asking for, and they won't even announce it. Fuck this. Righto, that's enough for one night. I got some work to get done tomorrow. Yup. What the fuck? Ladies and gentlemen, the Pokemon Company is, to say the least, not in the best position of the public eye at present. Financially, they're doing great, so there's an argument to be made that they don't need to worry about any controversies or issues with public persona, but cracks are indeed beginning to show in the fandom, and honestly, it's a little exhausting at this stage. My own experience hasn't exactly been the same as the rest of the anti-Game Freak group, as I sure as hell don't take pleasure in harassing developers, nor do I feel it's a justified thing to do. In fact, ignoring the immense illegality and moral disgrace of the actions, it only makes sure Game Freak will never listen to criticism again. Regardless, I wanted to get back into the franchise in the year 2019, and I thought a combination of the new games and Detective Pikachu would lead me to it. If you saw my scathing review of that film, then you know one of those strategies crashed and burned. Then there was the disappointment of the main games, but that's an exhausted topic that many are already tired of hearing about. Point is, at this stage, I'm basically done. Enough is enough, and that whole skit at the beginning was genuinely how I felt when I saw the direct announcement. And it was at 1:30 AM in Australia, so there was no way I was staying up that late when I had work the next day, let alone recording a live reaction that was probably going to end in a big pile of disappointment. And hell, most of the direct was a pile of disappointment, aiming to grant the wishes of those who criticized Game Freak, but through the lens of a monkey's paw. But then at the start, bang! There it was, like it was always meant to be. Whilst I am a little bit disappointed this didn't get the full direct treatment, as that way it would have reached a larger audience, this ever so simple trailer sent chills down my spine, despite not instantly recognizing every single shot on display. See, I've never actually played Red or Blue Rescue Team. That being said, Explorers of Time remains my current favorite Pokemon game of all time, having a massive impact on me as a child. It was a truly wonderful thing to wake up to this, but even then I was a little bit concerned. Given the current state of the franchise, did the monkey's paw get its filthy fingers all over my beloved sub-franchise? Well, as soon as I was able to, I downloaded the demo and gave it a shot. What followed was nothing short of a miracle. Righto, the moment of truth. If this game is dog shit, I'm gonna be real disappointed. Here we go! Yep! Ah, it's so pretty! It's so pretty! Okay, thank the music's not bad. They did the music justice! Thank for that! Ah, the nostalgia's getting to me. The nostalgia. Oh god, this song! Ah, the song! I'm tearing up. I'm legit shaking at the moment. I think it was middle finger, because f you! I'm a dude! I'm a dude, bruh! Hey, f you for that. I'm not naive. Ah, that ain't true at all. Bull f***ing shit. That is kinda true. That's not true. What the f***? The f***? No, that's not right. Oh. Oh, you can choose your Pokemon! Since when was this a thing? Okay, that's kind of neat. You can choose one that they kind of choose, but... Okay, what am I gonna pick? When I was first playing Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers at the time, I was a Meowth, so I guess I'll go with that. You know what? For the sake of honoring our fallen comrades, I shall pick Trico to honor the Grovyle. You know, I wonder if there's touchscreen support on this. It will make things much easier, but for the sake of recording, I'm kind of stuck doing this. Because who else would I choose? What other name would I choose? There we go. Oh man, we're only at the selection screen and I'm already getting all sorts of waves of nostalgia. I've never actually played the original Red and Blue Rescue Team games. I've only played Explorers of Time. I haven't even played the 3DS ones despite the fact that I own them, but this is a new experience for me and I'm hoping that this looks really, really nice. The art style from the trailers looks beautiful, so who knows what this is going to be like. Oh my god, they've HDified the sound effects! Christ! Oh, the art style is adorable. It's just like I'm playing a more sketchbook version of Bravely Default. That's awesome. It kind of looks like Winnie the Pooh, to be honest. Oh, thank God. It's just enough space for it. Bit more of a ham-fisted start we've got here compared to Explorers of Time and Darkness, but I suppose it is an older game that they're kind of referencing here. These kinds of controls are going to take some getting used to. Wait, why the f*** did they get rid of the sound effects that had them getting hurt? That's kind of sad. Okay, so it seems like my partner is a bit gung-ho and not really letting me do anything in this situation. Wait, why can't I choose which move I use? Why can't I choose it? What the hell? Oh, okay. They should have had a tutorial for this kind of thing. So now it's... wait, if this is how they do it, then what the f*** am I supposed to do for the auto attack for when you don't have any PP left? Seems like they've deliberately chosen some very linear dungeons to start off with. And there's the staircase. Yeah, this is really linear in comparison. Wow. Why am I pushing him? Why can't he just walk right through me like on the older games? Where's the run function? Why is there no run function on this damn thing? Do any of these buttons let me run? Come on! No! I will not be left at this snail's place forever! Part of me kind of wants a monster house to appear just for the sheer shits and giggles in the whole situation. Why does he have such an overpowered move at the start of the game? That's ridiculous! Are there like tiers for the kinds of characters you can pick for this game? Because it'd be funny if there were high tier and low tier Pokemon as there are in competitive games. I was concerned that only the overworld would be able to kind of display the cel-shaded art style, but they've managed to do a decent job in the dungeons as well. That was an incredibly short dungeon. Ah, this soundtrack! This soundtrack gives me the feels! Yeah! This song is my jam, motherfucker! Wait, are there different types of Reviver Seeds in this game? That is somewhat weird. Oh, this is so adorable. Oh, this is so adorable. I feel that when this game comes out, this is going to be a real laid-back game for me to just enjoy on a day off or something like that. Nothing to really sink my teeth into like Xenoblade Chronicles or something like Final Fantasy XII. But yeah, just something to chill, take it easy. Oh, I know what the f this is gonna be. I know what this is gonna be. C-cons! 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 I swear to God, if the demo ends now, I'm gonna be really pissed off, because that's been, what, like 10, 20 minutes so far? Keep going. Oh, thank God, it kept going. Come to think of it, this entire story is about a random human getting forced into a fursona. So, it's a bit of a weird way of looking at it. So they got a nice mix of 2D objects and 3D objects as well. So like you got a 2D texture for this kind of bench here and such, whereas I think some of the pots look more 3D. Really bloody good art style they've got going on. So if those aren't job offers, then probably all the bills are in here. Your computer is sending us error messages to the temporal tower. Please log into this area in the post box and we will fix your computer. I guess there must be Amazon or something in the Pokemon world if they're able to deliver the rescue team badge literally the night or the morning after they've actually signed up for being a rescue team. I love how well they've managed to fix this whole art style. It looks almost 2D despite the fact that there are 3D environments. A lot of the time, Cell Shaded tries to make the 2D aesthetic, but this honestly looks genuinely like I'm looking at a picture. Sometimes for shits and giggles, I deliberately select the no option just to see what happens. But, oh, They made the world map even look beautiful. God, I'm glad that this game is managing to do the soundtrack justice. Okay, so now they let you dash. And it's just as broken as it was in the last few games. Still pretty linear dungeons. I kind of am hoping for some more, well, branching paths in these sorts of games. That was kind of what made the original Explorers of Time, Darkness, and the Sky so fun. Now, f*** that shit, I'm dealing with you on my own. Ah, so that's how you get to choose the moves. I kind of wish they taught us in the original dungeon instead of this one. But oh well, whatever, I guess. I like the new Undertale designs. They seem a bit more organic than the other ones. Not organic in the sense that they look like trees, but organic in the sense that they fit more into the environments themselves. Ah, so it zooms in for the critical hits. Another nice touch. The sound effects are massively nostalgic for me as well. Can't be understated in this instance. Am I gonna get any combat done with Trico on my side? Crumbs, I guess. You spin me right round, baby, right round. Just move out of the f***ing way, baby, right round. Hang on, why hasn't Crumbs lost any food items in this whole campaign so far? Why isn't his belly going down? That's kind of weird. Is that a thing that I just never noticed? Can I get a boss fight? May I have a boss fight, please? Nope, no boss fights. Aww. That's a lot of money. It's way more than I used to get in Explorers of Time and Darkness, but I guess as freelancers, they kind of get more money in that instance. What a kid. He just left all the mail in the mailbox. He didn't even take it inside. Oh, the aesthetic's really getting to shine here. I'm absolutely loving this design. It's just like I've walked into the 100-acre wood almost. I am somewhat disappointed that they're using MIDI soundtrack as opposed to full orchestral soundtracks, but I guess it gets the job done in this instance. And on the board, he found a line, and a line with another line, and a line with another line, and a fourth line with a line on its sides. Aww, god damn it! Let me in! Oh, so they got a shine on the ones you can actually use with that, whereas the other one can't. Okay, that's kind of cool, I suppose. I have way more money than I was expecting to at the start of the game. I can see why people say this game is way easier than the other entries in the franchise. Not that it's bad, I mean, it's still pretty charming. Another non-accessible part from the demo? Why? Is this entire game just gonna be Crumbs using Dragon Breath? Because I kinda get the feeling it is. Yep, didn't even get to hit it. Definitely seems like these dungeons have become far less linear now that this whole thing is better. Oh, this is so adorable. Everything about this game is just so heartwarming, so probably when they pull the heartstrings later on, it's going to have a much larger effect on the, well, psyche, I suppose. If a rescue badge has some weird teleportation powers, why don't they just naturally use it anyway? Why wouldn't every Pokemon have that kind of rescue badge, especially if they're able to be delivered on such short notice anyway? Seems kind of weird in the context of the world.
Oh no! The ground is green, and the tunnel is grey! Game Freak is the worst company in history! I will not buy this game now! Oh no! His Ubisoft Escort mission is worst game in history!
I hope there are other game modes that actually allow me to maybe turn off some of the map sections, maybe create a bit of a better challenge. I'm kind of missing that challenge from the previous games, but still, the previous game, singular. I'm sure it'll be added to the main game, and even if it's not a deal breaker in this instance. Let me hit the Pokemon Crumbs! That whole quest seemed kind of pointless. Is it not possible just to teleport Elekid back and just wait by the town?
Logic in a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game, as if that's a thing everyone's worried about.
Liking how the music doesn't keep looping itself either, like it did in the old Explorers of the Sky / Time and Darkness. Bloody bastard, don't just make a hole in the middle of someone's house. You're gonna pay the repair costs for that. And that's where the demo ends. I guess that's substantial for a demo. Nothing like the Dragon Quest demo or the Bravely Default demos, I suppose. Still, for a demo, I suppose it works. In case the jokes make it somewhat difficult to determine what my true thoughts of this game are, the 50 minutes of which I played this game were some of the most fun I've had this decade. Yes, I know that's not saying much considering at the time of writing this it's only been 10 days, but when March comes out, you bet your ass this game will be replacing Dragon Quest as my go-to relaxation game for when the going gets tough, and I need to unwind. In many ways, this game walks the same path as Dragon Quest XI, along with Final Fantasy IX in terms of how it presents its story. It feels like I'm watching a bedtime story unfold in front of me, as if the words are springing to life off the page. Of the two though, it definitely shifts on the side of the latter, as although the characters are simple, I actually feel like they exist in the context of the world as opposed to just being extended stereotypes of already existing stereotypes. The story blends perfectly with the new art style. As mentioned earlier, they've done an utterly amazing job with the cell shading. The environments are heavily stylized, and in still frames they genuinely look like pre-rendered backgrounds. The Pokemon themselves don't exactly blend in completely, but given the amount of resources needed to pull off such a task, I don't think that would have been feasible. Besides, it's more likely that this game has had a much longer development time given the inclusion of Mega Evolutions, so a highly polished game with some slight graphical dips isn't exactly an issue. The dungeons themselves, as I found out, start off pretty linear, but once you've got your grip on things, they eventually start to mess around with the layout and deliver on the goods that you've always known and loved. I am a little bit annoyed with the simplification of the map system, showing you everything on the map right away, and I hope they allow you to change the difficulty on that in the full game, but even if they don't, it's such a minor nitpick. For all we know, the easier difficulty could just be to entice newer players through the demo. The final game may be much more difficult, providing less Poké money and delivering harder enemies, or giving you worse moves at the start of the game. Something tells me the final game won't have old Crumbs spamming Dragon Breath every chance he gets. Unless you can transfer save data, that is. I actually do hope that's a feature they add. If I had to be honest, one of the elements I'm most relieved about would have to be the soundtrack. This may seem like such an inconsequential thing, but to be honest, the first two games had some of the best music of the whole franchise. But for me, it's much more personal than that. Not only is my entire YouTube identity based in part on stealing from a musician who largely pays homage to the soundtrack of these games, but as a musician studying full-time at the Sydney Conservatorium, the soundtrack of the original Explorers of Time game had an immense effect on my compositional style. It's honestly part of who I am, and talking to several of my friends who study the same course as me and who also grew up with the game, which is surprisingly a lot, many were also heavily inspired by those two games' soundtracks. For years and years, I dreamt of an Explorers of the Sky remake with a full orchestral soundtrack in the same vein as the remastering done for Final Fantasy XII, although I suppose no one really remembers 12, so I guess the remake of 7 also counts. We sadly didn't get that, and are left with MIDI instead. That being said, the updates they've presented absolutely do the original compositions justice. Knowing that a new generation will be influenced by these amazing compositions truly warms my heart. Although that does bring up the sad truth. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon sadly doesn't have the same pull as it used to. Maybe it's just the fact that it's being overshadowed by the controversy of its bigger brother, but hardly anyone seems to be discussing this return to form for this amazing sub-franchise. I mean, let's be real here. The Pokemon Company always goes where the money is, and right now the money just isn't in spin-off games, or rather not in console spin-off games. With them putting all of their effort into lowbrow cash cow mobile games that slowly tank the credibility of the franchise, the fact that this game got made at all is a miracle in itself. It was only a couple of weeks ago that
Bandai Namco
turned down the offer to remaster the Xenosaga games, a surefire sell after the immense success of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And I don't know about you, but although fans of the Pokemon franchise are huge in number, fans of the Mystery Dungeon sub-franchise seem insignificant compared to the huge surge of recent Xeno fanatics. What I'm trying to say is, us Mystery Dungeon fans are few and far between, and right now we have a job to do. We need to promote the shit out of this game where Nintendo will not, or rather the Pokemon Company will not. This game could have been more than a footnote on a larger game's DLC, but that doesn't matter. The legacy of Mystery Dungeon shall live on. I'm not sure whether this video will come out in a timely manner given the Pokemon Company's insistence on copyright bullshit, but I want the world to hear this. If you have been craving a truly polished Pokemon experience with heart and soul, then Spike Chunsoft is ready to deliver that in but a few months, even if the others will not follow suit. I am here, and I, for one, am overjoyed to be going on this grand adventure. I will not stand by and let this become the next Chibi Robo. I will fight for my right to enjoyment. This game will heal my soul from the controversy, and if you'd like to join me on such an adventure, well, such a result is only a pre-order away. Psst! Hey! Here's a little trick for anyone who wants to start a new save file on any of the previous games. You know that Dungeon Kecleon Mart thingy? You can actually steal items from them. Those bastard lizards won't even try to stop you. It's super useful for getting rare items. Give it a try next time. I promise it'll be worth your while.